Hey, what's going on, cats and kittens? Madman here. You know what time it is. Alright, so let's cover what today's video is going to be about. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to comb your hair like Fonzie from Happy Days. Now, some of you may or may not have seen Happy Days. Happy Days was a show from the 70s. And there was a character named Fonzie played by Henry Winkler. Now, Henry Winkler basically made his living playing this character. This is what made Henry Winkler. Right before Happy Days came out, Henry Winkler was also in The Lords of Flatbush, which was another greaser film. If you haven't seen that, you need to check that out. So let's talk about the Fonzie hairstyle. If you can imagine, it's not a side pomp. It's kind of a comb over. It's a comb over and a swirl, as you guys can see from the various pictures I've been putting up. It's like a comb over and a swirl. The hair goes back on the sides, up and around, and then it ducktails in the back. That's how Fonzie used to comb his hair. As a matter of fact, that's pretty similar to the hairstyle that Henry Winkler sported in The Lords of Flatbush. So I'm going to recreate it and show you guys how to do it. What I'm going to be using is the Murray Super Light, because I want something that's going to be able to slick the hair, and I don't really need it for volume, because his hair didn't really have any volume. It had more of a roll and a swirl. So let's do this, alright? Get some pomade in the hands here. Start working it in. Got to get it in the hair nice and evenly. Alright, let's go ahead and kind of shape a little bit. In order to do this, you're going to want to take the side, I'm taking my left side, and I'm going to start shaping it to comb over, but I need to get a dip in it. And this needs to go such, it needs to be more of a, pull it down to the front. And it's got to come out. This is the thing. It has to go up and around, it has to dip down, and it has to come to the front, and then it has to pull to the side somewhat. I'm going to start using my brush here. I'm going to roll it here. It was always a little bit messy up in the front. As you guys can see from the various pictures. And then the back was always rolled and ducktailed. Also, you can kind of take your fingers and really kind of get that swirl to dip. Make sure you roll it right there. And this, cats and kittens, would be the Fonzie hairstyle wearing the Fonzie jacket. Hey, Church of the Fonz. Also, there's a few different reasons why you might want to consider opting to sport the Fonzie hairstyle. A, it's actually pretty spot on to traditional greaser hairstyles from the 50s. And what I mean by that is, most of the hairstyles in the 50s were not as extreme as we make them to be today. You didn't really ever see a lot of the cats from the old days sporting these really high, crazy looking pomps. They just didn't do it. It was the revival in the 1970s when you started to see the greaser hairstyles being done in more extreme ways. And one of the great examples of that is the Stray Cats. Another reason you guys might want to sport the Fonzie hairstyle is because it's easy to do and it's easy to maintain. There's little to no work that goes into doing this hairstyle. You just comb it, flop it, clean it up, and you're good to go. It's also great for summer months when your pomade wants to melt and get sticky and your pomp starts just to go to shit. And who the hell wouldn't want to have a hairstyle of the coolest fucking greaser in television? Look, I know the character of Fonzie got kind of schmaltzy, you know, towards the mid-seasons to the late seasons, you know, the whole jumping the shark and all that. The Fonzie that I always dug was from the original first season, like the first season, second, third, fourth. That's the Fonzie I always really liked. Back in the days when Fonzie wasn't allowed to wear a leather jacket on television because he looked quote-unquote too much like a hood. And he wore a beige Harrington jacket. The days when Fonzie was jumping his motorcycle and drag racing in Ralph's Hot Rod. The days when Fonzie was grabbing a hold of people, picking on Richie, and letting them know in no uncertain terms what was going to happen to him if they did try to mess with him. The thing you gotta love about Fonzie, he had class, he was tough, he didn't have to go around showing it, and he always had a good heart and took care of those who took care of him, because he was loyal. I'm ranting, having a little bit too much fun with this. I'm loving it. This shit's fucking great. So, if you don't know, cats, get a clue, get a brew, get a rock and roll tattoo. Hang loose, be safe. Comb your hair like Fonzie and do greaser shit. Madman's out.